How's it going, you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Maddison Hill, and yes, it's time for another Pop Off with Maddison. For today's Pop Off, I'm going to be talking about the trial with Blac Chyna versus the Kardashians because, you guys, so much has gone down since the last time we talked about it, and obviously, I have to fill you in. So at this point, Kim, Khloe, Kris Jenner, Kylie, and Rob Kardashian have all taken the stand and testified in the trial of Blac Chyna versus the Kardashians. A lot of things have been discussed during these testimonies, which is why I want to give you guys the highlights from these testimonies. For example, Rob Kardashian said that him and Chyna's relationship was never built on real love. They had a toxic relationship from the beginning. She threatened to kill him several times. Kim and Khloe were confronted about emails and text messages they sent. They had an answer for that. Kylie also revealed that Blac Chyna threatened her with violence. Kris, and also I forgot to even mention Corey Gamble, also have a lot of details about this alleged altercation that went down in December of 2016 between Blac Chyna and Rob Kardashian. That's where the iPhone cord comes into play. That's where the gun comes into play. It's just absolute insanity, and I want to fill you guys in on all of the major highlights. Oh, and also, of course, I'm going to fill you guys in on what Blac Chyna had to say when she testified on the stand, which, by the way, Blac Chyna's attorney has since filed a motion. They want Blac Chyna to be able to take the stand again. TBD on whether or not that will happen. As of the filming of this video, the judge has not ruled in favor of this motion. He hasn't ruled against it. So if Blac Chyna takes the stand after this video is posted, I'm sorry. At the time that I filmed it, the judge has not ruled on Blac Chyna taking the stand again. Whew, it's gonna be a lot that we have to discuss, you guys. It has been an absolute crazy week for me personally as well. I'm sorry that this is the first pop-up of the week, but because it is the first pop-up of the week, obviously I want to check in and see how the House of Hill is doing. So let me know how you are down below. As some of you may know if you follow me on Instagram, I was out of town this past weekend for a wedding / also to celebrate my birthday in Texas. Had a super long travel day trying to get back on Monday. Our flight was incredibly delayed. I think it ended up being like 6 hours or something crazy, but we did finally make it back to LA, and the past 2 days have just been craziness trying to recover from post-vacation. It's just like a lot of things happening all at once. So I'm so sorry that this is the first pop-off of the week, but we're here. It's gonna be great. We're gonna get into it. Again, don't forget to tell me how you are down below. And now, without further ado, I'm not gonna drag this intro out any longer because I know you straight to the T people are like, Maddison, let's get to it. So go ahead and drop this time code down there in the comments to help out your fellow straight to the T people. And now, without further ado, let's get to unwrapping these Blac Chyna and Kardashian facts. Okay, so as you all know by now, Blac Chyna is taking the Kardashians to court for $300 million because she claims that they conspired against her to have Rob and Chyna canceled, and she's claiming that they owe her past revenue, present revenue, and future revenue. Now, obviously, the Kardashians have denied any and all allegations that they conspired against Blac Chyna to have Rob and Chyna canceled, but because they've refused to settle and Blac Chyna has refused to settle, obviously this case has now gone to trial. Now, this trial did officially kick off last week, but since then, every member of the Kardashian family, except for Kourtney and Kendall, have testified in court. Blac Chyna has testified in court. So during this video, I want to give you guys the highlights from everyone's testimony. Because like I said in the beginning, it's a lot, and we're going to go ahead and start off with what Blac Chyna had to say when she was on the stand. So Blac Chyna actually testified at the end of last week, and during her testimony, she confirmed that she did hold a gun to Rob's head during that evening of December 15th in 2016. This is the night they had a very big altercation. This altercation is going to be brought up several times throughout the trial. However, Blac Chyna says whenever she did hold a gun to Rob's head during the night of December in 2016, she did it in a joking manner. She also says that she was joking whenever she wrapped an iPhone cord around Rob Kardashian's neck. She says she did it when Rob was playing video games and she wanted him to pay attention to her. Now, as far as what damage Blac Chyna caused to Kylie Jenner's home, because remember at the time, Rob and Chyna were living at Kylie Jenner's home rent-free. Remember, Kylie has said that Blac Chyna did a lot of damage to her property. Blac Chyna has denied it, but what she owned up to when she was on the stand, she says that she did damage a gingerbread house and that she also damaged a television and a door out of anger. Blac Chyna claims that she was angry because Rob took her phone and locked himself in a room to go through it. He had accused her of cheating, which is what led to this massive altercation that we're going to talk more about. Now, in addition to that, because this is something that Corey Gamble mentioned in his testimony, so I want to bring it up. During Blac Chyna's testimony, she also denied that she ever threw anything at Rob Kardashian's car on the night of December 15th, 2016. Just keep that in mind because we're going to go back to that detail here in just a little bit. Okay, now that you've heard Blac Chyna's testimony, let's move on to Kris Jenner's testimony. Because like I mentioned, she was questioned a lot about the events that took place on the night of December 15th in 2016. Now, real quick, I want to take a pause. The reason why this altercation is being so heavily discussed in the trial is because this was really the big blowout fight that took place right before the official announcement came down that Rob and and Chyna would be canceled and not have a season 2. After this night is when a lot of the discussions about canceling Rob and Chyna started happening. So obviously this night has a lot to do with Blac Chyna's case. This night has a lot to do with the Kardashians case. So that's why this infamous December 2016 altercation keeps getting brought up. Also, I do want to mention, because this is something that a Rob and Chyna exec mentioned during their testimony, this night was also a huge deal because this night is when Rob and Chyna's relationship took a major toxic and violent turn. And after this night, they were no longer the happy, fun couple that was originally pitched to the network. Anyway, back to Mama Kris. She reportedly became emotional on the stand and said that she believed Blac Chyna tried to murder her son in December of 2016. Kris Jenner said that she believed this because of marks on Rob's body from the iPhone cord and that he had a torn shirt. Kris Jenner, of course, also mentioned that she felt Chyna had hatred and animosity towards their family. Now, in addition to that, Mama Kris was also questioned about some text messages that she sent. The first one she was questioned about is one where she wrote, quote, "He is devastated," obviously talking about Rob. "He needs to, quote, ditch the..." Now, when Mama Kris was questioned about this particular text message, she said that she sent that message out of anger and that she should have chose a different word to describe Blac Chyna. She said she doesn't like speaking about people in that way. Mama Kris was also asked about a text she sent to the Rob and Chyna showrunner that said, quote, "Let's take her off the show and just make it Rob raising his daughter." Obviously, this is a key piece of evidence for Blac Chyna's side. It's kind of speaking to that whole conspiring theory. Now, when Mama Kris was questioned about this text, she said that Rob had been, quote, "traumatized," and she didn't know what else to do. Okay, moving on, let's now talk about Corey Gamble's testimony. Obviously, you guys all know Corey Gamble is Mama Kris's boyfriend. Now, he is the one who actually broke up, allegedly, that very large altercation on December 15th of 2016. So when he recalled the events of what went down that night in December of 2016, he noted that Kris Jenner got a phone call really late from Rob. He was clearly very upset. He could hear Chyna yelling in the background saying, allegedly, quote, "I'm gonna kill you, you fat mother." So Corey says he got dressed really quickly and drove to Kylie's house, which was just a couple of blocks away. Now, he said he did accidentally block Rob's car in the driveway. That's a very key detail. I'm going to get back to that. And he said when he went through the front door alone, he didn't want Kris Jenner to come because he knew it was going to be a dangerous situation. He actually saw Chyna threatening and yelling at Rob Kardashian. She also had a metal rod in her hand. This is what Corey Gamble says. And he did say that she dropped that metal rod whenever she saw Corey come through the door. He says at that point, after Chyna dropped the rod, she then went and got an iPhone cord and was slapping Rob Kardashian with it. Corey said that he was able to break them up, and in doing so, he did say that Blac Chyna, quote, reeked of alcohol. He said he also told Rob to, quote, get the hell out of here, and then when they started to go outside, he realized, oh shoot, I blocked Robin with my car. So when Corey Gamble went to move his car, this is when he says he saw Blac Chyna take a patio chair and throw it at Rob Kardashian's car. After that, Corey Gamble got out of the car. This is after he moved it. He actually stopped Blac Chyna from allegedly trying to throw a patio table at Rob's car. Now, obviously, I wanted to bring that up because during Chyna's testimony, she once again claimed that she never threw anything at Rob's car, and she also claimed that she never threatened to kill Rob, which Corey Gamble is saying is not the case. All right, moving on to Kylie Jenner's testimony. Really, I think the main thing from Kylie Jenner's testimony is the fact that she mentioned Blac Chyna did threaten her when she was with Tyga. She talked about how she received text messages with a bunch of devil emojis and some threats about Chyna wanting to beat her up or do something to her. Kylie said that she actually thought they were empty threats. She thought that she wasn't actually going to do anything to her just based on things that Tyga had told her. Kylie also talked about Rob and Chyna's relationship, and she said that while yes, she was happy for Rob, she was happy for her brother, she was curious how the relationship would go because she always had a thought that Chyna was with Rob for ulterior motives. I also want to mention that Kylie Jenner also claimed on the stand that Rob did specifically tell her that Blac Chyna threatened to kill him. Okay, moving right along to Kim and Khloe's testimony, you guys. Khloe actually went first and was asked about a specific email that she sent to an executive about Blac Chyna holding a gun to Rob Kardashian's head. In response to this questioning about the email, Khloe said, quote, I was not comfortable with the abuse that was happening. Now, when Khloe was asked if she attended a meeting in January, now I'm going to pause. So Blac Chyna's attorney claims that this meeting took place in January where the family all came together and voted whether or not to cancel Rob and Chyna. Now, of course, the family is saying, yes, there may have been a meeting, but we did not not vote. We did not have an actual say in whether or not it was canceled. That decision was not ultimately up to us. Either way, wanted to just fill you in on this January meeting. Khloe was asked about attending this meeting to discuss the second season of Blac Chyna. Khloe said that there was actually no second season, that there was only actually ever one season, and she denied trying to get anything canceled at this meeting. Khloe specifically said, quote, "I wasn't trying to cancel anything. I was considering not encouraging such volatile behavior between my brother and Chyna." While Khloe was on the stand, like I mentioned, she also said she doesn't have any actual say in what decisions the network makes. In fact, she said, quote, "We feel strongly about a lot of things. That doesn't mean anyone is going to listen to us. We were considering not being part of such toxicity. We were putting our concerns in writing so they were aware of the volatile relationship." Now, as far as Kim's testimony, she was asked about a text that she sent to the production crew of Keeping Up with the Kardashians after this Rob and Chyna showdown in December of 2016. Now, in that text, Kim said that she needed to take a break from filming because of what was going on. She also said that Chyna would not be appearing on their show because Rob had, quote, been crying all day. Now, in regards to Kim Kardashian telling the production crew that she was not going to film with Blac Chyna, she did not want Blac Chyna on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Kim said, quote, "I have a right as a cast member to say we all really need a break. I will not go into a toxic work environment. On my show, I have the power to do that. I can't control the content of what they film, but this is our show. Why would we film with her?" She then went on to say, quote, "I was just expressing that I will be taking a break from filming to assess how I am feeling. I can only control what I can do, which is to take a break." While Kim was on the stand, she also denied ever having a hand in the canceling of Rob and Chyna, and she also denied ever voting at this January meeting to cancel the second season of Rob and Chyna. Now, real quick, stay with me. I know this is a lot of information. I want to talk about Rob and his testimony because he finally took the stand yesterday, and he talked about how when Chyna came into his life, he was at his, quote, lowest point. Rob talked about how when he proposed to Blac Chyna, he says that they didn't even, quote, have real love, but at that point, Blac Chyna was having his child, which is why he proposed. Rob also testified that Chyna beat him at least 5 times over the course of their relationship and held a gun to his head several times. He actually made a comment that how can that be love? Rob also talked about the photos of them that were posted on social media because obviously Chyna's attorney is going to bring that up and say, what are you talking about that it was so toxic and abusive? Look at these happy photos that were posted for the world to see. And Rob Kardashian claims that Blac Chyna only posted those for clout. He also reportedly became very angry when Chyna's attorney tried to challenge the fact that he didn't have any visible marks on him after that night in December of 2016. However, he maintained that just because the attorney wasn't able to see marks or that there weren't visible marks, that doesn't mean that the altercation didn't happen. So yeah, those are definitely some of the biggest bombshells and the biggest takeaways from everyone's testimony in this Blac Chyna versus the Kardashians trial. Like I mentioned, Blac Chyna says that she wants to be able to take the stand again, and her reason for doing so, basically her attorney is saying that when the Kardashians attorney cross-examined Blac Chyna, it didn't go well for her, you guys. Apparently she became very emotional. She wasn't really able to answer any questions, which obviously doesn't look good for Blac Chyna's case. Now, the reason why she says she became so upset on the stand is because she was triggered when the Kardashians attorney showed her those revenge porn images that Rob Kardashian posted. So her attorney has filed the motion with the judge to have Blac Chyna testify again. Like I said at the filming of this video, the judge has not ruled on it, but obviously I have a lot more thoughts. Like I said, I'm sorry this is such a long unwrapping of the facts. There's so much information. Obviously, I also don't feel right popping bottles and drinking champs when we're talking about such serious subject matters. So we're just gonna go ahead and hydrate and send positive vibes to everyone here in the House of Hill because this week has been crazy. Okay, so first of all, I feel like I speak for all of us when I say that this trial is crazy and has been a lot. And it's also wild to me that it is happening at the same time as the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. Obviously, that is another very explosive trial that's happening in Hollywood right now. And I know some of you have been wanting me to do a pop-off on the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I just feel like I am so behind. So much has happened and I've missed so much, and it's so crazy. And I also think it is such a delicate subject matter. And I will say the two parallels to the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial and the Blac Chyna and the Kardashian trial is that depending on the day, the case looks like it's gonna go one way or the other. Like one day the Kardashians have a really good day in court, one day Blac Chyna has a really good day in court, same thing, one day Johnny Depp has a really good day in court, and the next day Amber Heard has a good day in court. Like it truly is crazy. It's truly hard to tell which way all of these cases are gonna go. And to be completely 1000% transparent with you guys and completely honest with you guys, I honestly don't know who is more wrong in this Blac Chyna versus the Kardashians case. I think that everyone involved here has done absolutely horrible things to one another. I think everyone involved here has said absolutely horrible things about one another. However, I feel like whenever things escalate to a violent level, that that is something that I cannot condone. And that is something I feel like is absolutely inexcusable. Like, there is no instance where it is okay for you to be damaging a door. There is no instance where you should have a rod. There is no reason why you should ever hold a gun to someone's head, even if you're joking. Like, I just feel like all of those acts of violence are absolutely despicable and inexcusable. And truthfully, I don't necessarily blame the Kardashians for wanting Blac Chyna out of their lives after she did those things to Rob Kardashian. I mean, put yourself in their shoes. I'm trying to put myself in their shoes. If anyone did that to my sibling, if my sister's partner ever did even a quarter of those things that Blac Chyna did to Rob Kardashian, I would want that person taken freaking down. So I definitely understand why the Kardashians wanted Blac Chyna ousted. However, where I think they seriously messed up in that situation is the language they used. Again, name calling, definitely not okay. And I think they definitely went about it the wrong way by kind of, giving the network these ultimatums of saying, we're gonna take a break from filming if you put Blac Chyna on our show, or maybe we need to pull our show if you're not gonna consider canceling Rob and Chyna. Like, all of those antics in order to get Blac Chyna ousted were definitely the wrong move. And even though an executive did testify and say, you know what, the Kardashians and all of their emails and all of their texts had nothing to do with the reason why we canceled the show. We canceled the show because it was becoming something that we no longer pitched. It was becoming very toxic and not something we want to air on television. Although an exec did testify to that, still it doesn't look good on the Kardashians that they have all of these emails and text messages that look like they were trying to persuade the network to cancel Rob and Chyna. Again, I just think this whole situation is an absolute mess. Like I said before, I don't necessarily think the Kardashians owe Blac Chyna $300 million. I think if anything, maybe they'll pay her out for Rob and Chyna being canceled. Honestly, after this, I just hope that all parties involved can let this freaking go, because Blac Chyna has clearly moved on. She wants nothing to do with Rob Kardashian. Rob Kardashian definitely doesn't want anything to do with Blac Chyna. And at the end of the day, there is a little girl involved, and she is definitely old enough to pick up on things, definitely old enough to recognize that there's tension. So I just hope that after this, the Kardashians have nothing to do with Blac Chyna, and Blac Chyna has nothing to do with the Kardashians unless it deals with co-parenting dream. Obviously, whenever we do get a ruling, I'm going to be sitting right here to tell you guys about it. But in the meantime, I want to hear your thoughts on everything that we discussed. So I want to hear what you think about this whole Blac Chyna versus Kardashians trial. I want to hear what you think about what everyone has testified about. Let it out down below. While you guys are at it, please give this video a thumbs up. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button, and don't forget that notification bell. For more content, make sure you guys follow me over on Instagram and TikTok. And of course, don't forget to keep coming back to my channel to check out my YouTube shorts. You guys can also find all of my merch over at my merch store at houseofhill.com. And on that note, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.